was like Mayweather sweat cream and like.
The untouchable True School Sports Empire proudly presents something the boxing game's been missing. Hey, what's going on? It's your boy BT, and I came here to talk some boxing with the thousands of True School Sports subscribers. Now, right now I'm chilling at the MGM Grand. Shout out to the yes.
Be 100 because you don't like Mexicans.
Damn. Felipe got a lot to say.
Huh?
Because according to some of the comments out there, they say I don't like Mexican fighters. So hey, I'm about to lose all the subscribers because I don't like the Mexicans. But yeah, just so you guys know, you see where we at. I don't know if y'all can see it. We're at the MGM Grand,
The Mecca of boxing.
the former Mecca of boxing. Until COVID came, wiped everything out, and South Florida took over.
Texas, bro.
In Texas, South Florida and Texas, the new Mecca of boxing. But look, I wanted to talk about the aftermath of Josh Taylor versus Jose Ramirez, the whole Undisputed thing, because I've had a whole 24 hours to process the fight. Haven't watched it back yet, but I've still had time to process it. And I'm gonna start off with this. Last night I had a chance to meet Josh Taylor. He was in the Virgin Hotel in one of the lounges, and he was getting some drinks, enjoying the fruits of his labor. And I'll be honest, like I've been around a lot of fighters over the years, and I would say Josh Taylor had one of the most unique auras I've ever seen from a fighter. He's just like a real nice guy.
Look at this. He took the time to sign a whole
He took the time to sign a whole paragraph. I mean, hold on. Let's get a close up of that.
Dedicated, undisputed champ. The ticket. He took the time to do this. He moved the beers from the table.
Yeah.
And signed the whole paragraph.
He signed the whole paragraph. So he's a different type of fighter, a different type of man. And he showed it on the night. Now, look, a lot of you guys here were saying that Ramirez is going to win. And then you guys even took it the extra step further to say, I don't know shit about boxing and I hate Mexican fighters. And that's why I was picking Taylor. No, I didn't pick Taylor because I hate Mexican fighters. I picked Taylor because Josh Taylor, from the day I seen him fight, I knew he was a special fighter. And
His last name.
And his last name, I mean, because how could you bet against anybody with the last name Taylor? You ain't gonna bet against him. You ain't gonna bet against me, straight up. And you shouldn't. It's not good for your health. It's not good for your health or your wallet. But look, what happens now for Taylor going forward in his career? Let's talk about all the possibilities. All right. So, possibility number one: Josh Taylor potentially stays at 140. And maybe he fights Jack Catterall. Jack Catterall is the reason this undisputed fight happened in the first place because he took step-aside money. Josh Taylor in the past has expressed a desire to fight at the Edinburgh Castle in Scotland. And so maybe he'll give the hometown fans there a fight and defend the titles there. I think that'd be a treat for them. Catterall, not a bad fighter at all. Not a bum by any means. He earned his mandatory position as Johnny was saying earlier. But that could be a possibility. Or the big fights, because there's two big fights out there for Josh Taylor. Now, the one that seems to be most realistic that's going to happen is Josh Taylor against Terence Crawford. October, huh? Big Bud. Josh Taylor against
Pound King.
According to Johnny, the pound king. The one that's most likely seems to be Terence Crawford at 147. Bob Arams already came out and said, look, in October, the fight is happening. Look, a lot of people may disagree with me. That's okay. A lot of people disagree with the Ramirez fight. I think that fight's a pick'em. I think that fight's a pick'em. I give Josh Taylor a great chance to get against Crawford because of the fact that, Crawford's been inactive. He's getting up there in age, and those things will play a role, especially when you got a guy like Taylor who's coming in on great form. A lot of people would say that maybe Taylor doesn't have the experience. Maybe Taylor doesn't have what it takes to deal with a guy like Crawford at this stage. But, I think it's been 18 fights for Taylor, but he's packed a lot into those 18 fights. He's fought guys like Victor Postal, long, rangy, tall, dangerous fighter, the same fighter Crawford fought. Prograis, Ramirez, guys like that. Only difference I would say, though, is, this guy, Crawford, clearly has more tools. He can box off his back foot. So he's a harder puzzle to solve. And he's experienced. But it's a good fight. It's a hell of a fight because when we talk about Taylor and Crawford, that's like you got two guys, the last two fighters at 140 that were undisputed. You got the most recent undisputed champion at 140 against the former undisputed champion at 140 at 147. So it's a fight that's good for so many reasons because it could be another signature win for Josh Taylor if he could beat Crawford. And for Crawford, he's not been able to get the opponents. He didn't get Errol Spence because Errol Spence don't want that smoke. You know, at least I don't think he wants that smoke. He don't want that smoke. He's not ducking everybody. Not ducking Errol Spence. Anyway, that's a discussion for another day. The Pacquiao fight has been able to happen. A lot of these fights have been able to. Huh? You think he's ducking Pacquiao too? Talk to him, Felipe. You think Crawford's ducking everybody?
I don't think.
Oh, you know?
I know.
How do you know?
Because, man, like he's at the opportunity to fight both of them. He's at the opportunity to fight both. Like, even if they offer him less money, if you're so damn confident in yourself, then you're gonna win, right? So
take the fight.
Take the fight.
How about you?
After that, you'll make a lot of money.
How about you, Johnny?
Huh? Oh,
Is Crawford ducking everybody?
What? Nah, I don't think Crawford's ducking everybody, but I think that there was opportunities for him to make certain fights, and maybe he didn't want to do certain fights. Like, I think that Sean Porter fight should have been done by now, and that Sean Porter fight should have been made by now.
That too.
You know, and it was a good offer.
Thanks for the point, John.
I think that he should have took it. If he hasn't fought in any elite level welterweight, and Sean Porter offered him, and he's a former world champion, WBC world champion at 147, why not take that fight, even if it was for $1 million? $1 million is $1 million. You know.
Not for taxes. But anyway.
You better not duck the tax.
Ooh, yeah, you can't duck him. You can't duck Uncle Sam. Uncle Sam undefeated. But yeah, if that fight could come off, that'd be great for Crawford, because Crawford, for as great as he is and for the skills he has, he don't have that signature win. And there'd be no better time for him to fight Josh Taylor than like within the next. Don't gotta be his next fight, because I don't think Taylor's next fight will be against Crawford, but it's gotta be within the next
2 years.
8 months, at least the next 8 months.
It doesn't even have to be Taylor, man. There's a lot of other players.
Well, the video's about Taylor. That's why I'm mentioning Taylor. So yeah, like that'd be a good fight, because it's the last two 140-pound undisputed champions taking each other on. And look, I really believe, and I'm Johnny, Marcos, and pretty much everybody that I've seen to talk to doesn't agree, but like I think from 140 to 147, Josh Taylor can beat anybody. Anybody. Name him. He can beat him. You know, Teofimo.
Teo gonna get him.
To 147?
From 140 to 147. Take your pick.
Boots is at 147, right?
Boots is there, yeah.
Yeah, I don't think he'll be.
He could be Boots. He could definitely beat Boots. Josh Taylor could definitely beat Boots. He could definitely beat Boots.
I want to see it.
I want to see it. But when?
Yeah.
Cause I heard a lot of rumors about Boots. His chin, it ain't the sturdiest.
They gotta make that fight happen.
You know, Boots is one thing to look good against Bakhtiar Yubov and Armando Alvarez, but it's another thing when you're in there with a guy like Josh Taylor, with that kind of precision and power. What y'all think? Y'all got what do y'all think about Josh Taylor? And this, look, personally for me, I believed in Josh Taylor long before most of y'all know who he was, and I truly believe. You name him. Pick the fighter. 140 to 147. Pick him.
Teo gonna get him.
Teo, if Teo gets touched like he was getting touched against Lomachenko with Josh Taylor, it's a wrap.
Thank you.
It's a wrap. I know you agree with that, because you keep saying that
That's why I think Loma took that Nakatani fight like so quick, because he wants to prove a point. He wants to obliterate him so there can be talks of a rematch.
he's right. But the thing is that the ace in the hole is that he's not gonna obliterate Nakatani. Nakatani ain't playing with these boys. But I respect Lomachenko, because Nakatani is a lightweight that most guys don't want to fight. So, respect to him. Hey Marcos, I know you was talking, by the way. Shout out to, for those of you who don't know, that's Marcos Pass. He's a future world champ. Now, Marcos, I know you were saying Josh Taylor or Lopez. What you think?
I think, it's always a high-stake fight in the sense that, Josh Taylor is very skilled and he's lanky. But I have Teofimo Lopez with the win. Not only because of his boxing IQ, but because of his physical strength. I really believe that Lopez has, explosiveness, and he carries power in both hands. And pro boxing, that's something that's very important. You have to be able to do some sort of damage.
There you have it.
Got it.
Gotta be able to do some sort of damage. So we'll see. Look, I think Teofimo has all the skills in the world to beat anybody at 140. But I've always said, even before this fight, there's one guy at 140 that I have my, I'm gonna have to think a little bit about if he could beat him. It's Josh Taylor, because when we talk about Josh Taylor, we're talking about a guy that he's got all the tools you can think of. He can box off the back foot, he can counter you, he can be in a dogfight, and he showed it all last night against Ramirez. He did a lot of things last night against Ramirez. He did.
You're forgetting about at 140. You're forgetting about Mario Barrios.
What about him?
Josh Taylor against Barrios.
He's gonna get pieced up June 26th when he fights the one.
What about Tank and Josh?
Oh man,
What about that one,
What if
bro?
he fights
I think that'd
the
be,
one,
man, that'd be something to see.
Josh Taylor versus Tank.
Josh Taylor's a little bit dirty. And Tank ain't gonna
He might need to be a little dirty against Tank,
Yeah.
the one.
You might hit him with the nasty little
Tank
trick.
Well, you know, I don't know if you know this. They had like a little Twitter beef like about a year and a half ago. Josh Taylor and Davis. So that'd be a good one. I think, you know, when you get a guy like Tank, you know, with him being as explosive as he is, I feel like a guy like Taylor could bring the best out of Tank. You know, Tank would have to really dig into every last part of his skills, you know, from his boxing skills to coming forward to all the explosiveness he possesses. You know, I think Josh Taylor winning last night is really opened up the endless possibilities for him and for 140 and 147. There's a lot of fights to be made because now we have a clear-cut, established guy at 140. So now, from this point forward, when Taylor fights, there's going to be a target on his back. Whether he fights Crawford, there's a target on his back. Whether he fights, you know, Lopez, target on his back. Whoever it is, there's a target on his back. And now he's going to have to really continue to show the world that he's one of the best fighters out there, that he is one of the most complete fighters out there. Because now to me, is where his career really starts. In a way, yeah, it's great. Like, he's been boxing for 15 years of his life. Congratulations to him. It's hard for fighters to get to this place in their careers, and the majority of fighters will never get to this place in their career. So just shout out to him for that. But now is where his career really gets interesting because there's a target on his back, and it's different.
What about a rematch with Regis Prograis?
You said a rematch with Regis Prograis?
Think Regis could beat him?
I thought Josh clearly beat Regis, and it was pretty comfortable. But
Yeah, I wouldn't mind it.
People said it was close, so I
He's
mean,
frustrated.
I think it'd be a good fight for him too.
I think it
140,
would.
you never know.
But I also think that I think Regis is having a hard time making 140, and I think he's eyeing to move to 147 himself.
And
So I feel like if that fight's gonna happen, Regis is gonna have to get a couple wins to 147 when Taylor moves up.
what about like Broner at 140? Yeah.
I mean, it's cool, but like Broner don't deserve that fight. He almost lost to Santiago his last fight.
The cam is.
Nah, he ain't.
Forgot all about Broner.
Yes, we'll see, man. We'll see. What's the fight in the comment section? What's the fight y'all want to see the most? Because there's quite a few out there. You know, for me personally, I was just telling Felipe on the way in the elevator on the way up here. I said, look, the Taylor Crawford fight, that fight comes off this year or whenever it happens, I will, whatever it takes to be at that fight, I'll be there. Because
Bro, so you think, I'm sorry, but you think Josh Taylor can beat Virgil Ortiz?
yeah,
You're out your damn
I'm not my mind. Why?
Yeah, Virgil Ortiz is a
Why?
straight killer,
He's
bro.
he's basically
already proven that
he's
he
a younger,
takes-
stronger Ramirez.
He takes step up.
He can get neutralized
Step-
easy.
Step up fights, bro.
I think Virgil Ortiz beats Josh.
He can't beat Josh
And
Taylor.
the thing about Virgil Ortiz, bro, is he's patient.
He is.
At the age that he is, he's patient,
I
bro.
disagree.
What do you think, Johnny? Josh Taylor versus Virgil Ortiz?
I gotta go with Josh Taylor. I think he has a little bit more experience, and I think
Wait. More experience than professional experience than
Virgil?
Than Virgil?
Way more.
They probably fought like the same step of fights as like you got 3 notable fights from Taylor, bro. You got 3 notable fights from Ortiz.
Yeah.
Nah, Taylor got more than 3 notable fights.
I think just Virgil got hit a little bit too much for me.
Against Hooker.
Yeah,
Against Hooker.
Oh my
I
God,
think
Taylor!
he
I'm
got
telling
hit.
you, Taylor will wax. Taylor will wax
Did you
Virgil.
see Taylor's face? You saw him.
He
yesterday.
looks like that every fight. Every fight
You
looks
saw
like
him
that.
yesterday.
He looked like that against Prograis.
He looked more beat up than Ramirez.
He looks like that every fight, bro.
So, and hey, Virgil Ortiz might just be somebody that bruises easily, bro.
Yeah, we'll see.
I know people that if they go fucking run a mile outside in the sun, they bleed out their nose.
Yeah, we'll
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
There's just some people that just naturally like they get injured easier, bro.
Nah, it ain't happening. I'm letting y'all know right now. If Virgil Ortiz fight Josh Taylor, he'll get waxed. You could, hey, screen record. You can screen record this clip right here. If Virgil Ortiz fight Josh Taylor, he'll get waxed. Now, 5 fights from now, you pick whenever happens. He losing to Josh Taylor. You pick whenever happens.
You gotta pump the brakes a little bit.
I'm not pumping the brakes. I know what I'm watching. I'm watching a damn great fighter. The Tornado.
Tornado train. But look, man, Josh Taylor.
I give Crawford the best shot of beating him.
Josh Taylor against Mikey Garcia.
please,
I'd
come
be
on.
going too.
Why are you trying to get Mikey hurt, man?
I'm
You trying to get Mikey Garcia hurt? I thought you was a fan of Mikey
I'm
Garcia.
giving you the list, bro.
Okay,
Alright, you
okay.
said good matchup.
I think the style of someone boxing Josh Taylor, I still want to see it. Because if someone can use a lot of feints on him, I think he's beatable. I
So
think he can be beat.
you got Mikey Garcia, right? At 147.
Yeah, maybe. I think you go
Danny
fight.
Garcia, 147.
You know, I would love that fight just because I know Josh Taylor might become the first guy to drop Danny
I
Garcia.
don't think he beats Teron.
He could be drawing
He
this.
can fight Keith Thurman too.
That'd be a good fight.
Ugas,
Mugas. Pacquiao.
Pacquiao. I don't think he beats Virgil Ortiz.
He'll wax Virgil Ortiz. Huh? He'll wax Virgil Ortiz. And if me and Virgil would have talked in the lobby earlier, I would have told if that would have came up in conversation, I would have said Josh would wax you.
Sean Porter.
Huh? Tough fight. That actually be a tough fight for Josh. I think Sean be a tough fight because of the ruggedness.
I think Sean will win that one.
I don't think he'd win it, but I think it'd be a tough fight. I give Crawford the best chance. You know who I think would give Josh a hard fight? Might even beat him. You might laugh, but like Ugas. I think because the awkwardness, and he's deceptively strong.
What about Sean Porter?
He's strong, bro.
Good fight.
What about Sean Porter?
I give it to
They both
Taylor.
fight on the inside.
Taylor too sharp.
Ugas can fight.
Remember that shot that Spence caught? Remember that shot that Spence caught on Porter?
Yeah, he was on the inside.
Okay,
With a hook.
Josh Taylor can catch him with that same shot, and he will.
That's the thing about Porter, man. If Porter was a little bit more reserved, he'd be. I mean, he is a great fighter, but he'd be undefeated, man. No one would touch him if he was more reserved.
He'd be up there.
Yeah. But he's too even.
Yeah, man. But I truly believe that I don't think there's a whole lot of fighters that can beat Josh Taylor right now. Like, there's not too many people I could say like, yo, I make him the favorite. The only guy is Crawford. The only guy I can say he could be the favorite against Josh Taylor is Crawford.
If you agree with BT, put a thumbs up. If
Yeah,
you don't,
I know you guys won't. I know a lot of people won't because they're gonna say.
a lot of thumbs down on this video.
I know a lot of people are gonna say Lopez. I mean, look, I like Lopez. I'm a huge fan of his, but I've been saying it. I mean, the videos are up. You can go check them. I've been saying I don't know if TFU can beat Josh Taylor, and I'm gonna ask them. Hopefully, I see them soon here in Vegas. I'll ask them about the fight. I know they want it. I know his dad's been wanting it. I know Junior's been wanting it. So make it happen. We gotta see these fights, man. I think Teofimo Lopez is a fantastic fighter. You know, he's making a great career for himself at an early stage. A win against Josh Taylor. Felipe might disagree with me, but like you're talking about him being Lomachenko, and then maybe being against Josh Taylor. A win against Taylor might make Teofimo a Hall of Famer already.
And mind you, I want to say one thing too as well. True School Sports, I have something to say.
Go ahead, Marcos. Talk to him.
Teofimo at the tender age of, I believe, what he's 24,
23.
23 at the moment, Jumpman year, right? He's made history because, you know, despite what anybody may say, like him or hate him, love him or hate him, guess what, man? He's an undisputed champion of the world, man, unified champion of the world. And how many 23-year-olds at the moment are in that position, you know? So you have to commend the kid, you know, for putting in his work and paying his dues because you can't say that he cherry picked. Everybody claimed that Lomo was pound for pound the best in the world, and he dared to be great, him as well as his father. I'm not discrediting Lomo. Lomo's a great fighter, you know. You know, put Loma in with anybody else, and trust me, Loma go to work. But you have to commend the kid, and you can't discredit him, man.
You can't.
And he beat Nakatani.
And he beat Nakatani and Comey, and then Lomachenko.
He's faced stiff opposition,
Stiff.
and he's rose to the occasion. Man. He hasn't crumbled.
And he's right, man. I mean, Loma, my favorite
And he's
fighter.
only gonna get better.
Number one, he was number one pound for pound at some time, and he beat him, bro. He's undisputed at 23 years old, man. If I was to say like he's not undisputed, if I was to say that he's not good, that's me being
A hater.
hypocritical of my first statement that Loma was the best fighter in the world, and he beat him, man. I mean, the final rounds, like Loma started to figure it out, but he gave him some respect. But it was that power.
Yeah. So that's what it is, man. So yeah, there's a lot of good fights out there for Josh Taylor. With the exception of maybe Crawford, I'm taking Josh Taylor versus the field. against any opponent you guys can name, I'm probably gonna go with Josh Taylor. Cause I've seen a lot through his 18 fights. I've seen a lot. I've seen the total package. There isn't anything he hasn't shown me in the ring yet. Maybe you could argue that he hasn't fought certain styles because the best guys in his weight class don't have those styles. Like for example, you might say like Josh Taylor hasn't fought a guy who can consistently box off his back foot. It's not really his fault because the guys in the top weight class aren't those kind of fighters. I mean, Prograis could a little bit, but Prograis didn't fight like that when he fought Taylor. So, you never know. What do you think, Felipe?
Nah, man. When you're done, I got a closing comment.
All right, yeah. Prograis can box out the back foot, but he didn't do it against Taylor. So we'll see, man. I just see a guy that's in there. He makes adjustments very well, fight to fight. He can fight different styles. He's very much aware of what he has to do. He lives in the millisecond. What I mean when I say that is like he's very present in that ring. He's not thinking too far ahead. He's not thinking to the past. He's just very present. So if you're an aggressive fighter and you back him up towards the ropes, you might land a good shot. Like Ramirez landed some good shots last night, but he didn't stay there for Ramirez. He pivoted out of that corner, and he controlled the fight with his feet, as well as with his lead right hand, probing with the jab, and he was disguising that left hand all night, and that's why Ramirez was getting hit so much. So when I look at Josh Taylor, I see a guy that if we talk about the most complete fighters in boxing, to me he's top 3. I mean, he might not be the most complete fighter, but he's in that top 3. I would say, he's up there with the likes of like, your Crawfords and your Canelos and your Lomachenkos. I mean, Inoyes, guys like that. He's in that discussion.
I put him on my top 3.
Top 3 most complete fighters in boxing?
Oh no, I thought you were talking about pound for pound.
Oh, pound for pound. What about most complete? What about most complete? Is he not in there?
You gotta give me decent. You gotta give me time to think about that.
All right, think about it. All right, but look, you got a statement, Felipe?
Yeah, man, I do. I'm gonna quote the great Maurice Hooker.
Uh-oh. What are we gonna say?
That was weird.
Yeah, that's a good one. For the one saying the BT don't like Mexicans, fuck y'all.
Yeah, fuck y'all, and I'm a warrior. Huh? I love that. Hey, for those of you who say I don't like Mexicans, I'm not even saying this to be like sarcastic, but like almost all the girls I wind up having a crush on or dating are all Mexican girls. So like I don't know where y'all got that from,
You want to exploit them?
Huh? I want to exploit them. Yeah, I want to exploit them.
Oh, man, that's ridiculous, bro.
It's ridiculous. Like, okay, I'm gonna end the video like this, okay? Because I get these comments from time to time, and I see them sometimes.
I don't like Canelo either, bro.
Like, he don't like Canelo.
I'm Mexican. I don't like him.
Why don't you like him, Felipe?
Why don't I like him?
Do you hate your own people?
No, man. Shit. When it was Roman Gonzalez against Estrada, I went for Estrada.
Yeah.
Taylor against Ramirez. I told you Taylor has more skills.
Yeah.
But I thought Ramirez had the heart to beat him. He had the heart to get up from both.
No, he did. Respect to Ramirez.
Bro, I don't know how he got up from the second one. I thought the night was over.
Yeah.
Like when we saw Davis knock out Santa Cruz, that's how I felt.
Yeah.
But I was going for Santa Cruz in that fight too.
What do you think
man.
next for
Like,
Ramirez though?
What's next for Ramirez? That's a good question.
Yeah, like couldn't it be like Zepeda again? A Zepeda rematch or a Coastal rematch?
You know what? Hey, I'm glad he brought it up. I was talking about Zepeda more than I was Postal. But yeah, we need that Postal rematch back because truthfully speaking, I think Postal beat Jose Ramirez.
And I think the good thing about Josh becoming Undisputed is that you have him having the 4 belts, but you can have big fights as far as these guys can start to fight each other to earn their position and fight.
That's true.
That's right.
Zepeda can get a big fight.
That's actually right.
Prograis can get a big fight. Prograis can get a big fight. They don't have to wait for a champion no more because it's just one guy.
Yeah.
So now the best thing they can do is have to fight each other. They can't duck no more. You got to make those fights. And considering all the prospects coming up from 35, 40, I think that division is wide open and it looks good.
So when Santa Cruz fought Davis, bro, now that I remember, there was 2 titles on the line. One was 130, one was 135.
Yeah.
Did he be a regular?
So is it possible for Lopez to fight Josh Taylor for all 8 belts, bro?
8 belts?
Well, it'd actually be 10 belts because it's a ring magazine.
Yeah.
Well, no, it'd be touring magazines because Lopez
exactly,
has
10 belts.
Yeah.
Would it be possible to make that fight happen for all 10 belts?
I love to see it. I mean, I feel bad. I feel bad for the sanctioning fees because that's gonna be crazy. We talking about like $5 million in sanctioning fees. Like I'm sure the sanctioning bodies will like it. But I don't know if they can work that out politically. You know, because that's a lot.
For the price of one?
Yeah, too, because that's a lot to work out. But hey, if you can make it happen, we want to see Josh Taylor versus Teofimo Lopez for all 10 trinkets. Trinket City. I want there to be so many belts that the fighter, whoever wins the fight, can't even carry him out the ring.
It's got to come in a train or something.
Yeah, it's got to come in a train. They're gonna have to have the ring car girls carry the belts out the ring.
All 12 of them. Shit, throwing an extra two. The
Yeah.
WC loves to make some.
And you know what? Yeah, the WBC can create a belt, and the IBO can join in.
Yeah, they got 12 belts. All 12 ring card girls.
That's it, man. But yeah, but back to what I was saying. I'm gonna close video with this, man, because I get a lot of comments and I don't respond to all of them because it would just be a lot of energy. But I'm gonna do it right here so you guys can see my face and see my expression when I say this. For you idiots that come on my channel that flap your gums and had the audacity to say that I don't like Mexican fighters, you're out of your damn mind. How could you be a boxing fan and hate Mexican fighters? Mexican fighters are some of the most important figures in this damn sport. You know, whether we're talking about Salvador Sanchez, Chavez, Canelo, Vicente Salvador, Miguel Canto, Gallo Estrada, whoever you want to, whatever. Pick any era of boxing, and you're always gonna have top level, elite level, you know, Mexican fighters. So I don't understand why you guys are saying that. Is it because I don't like Canelo, and you guys just want to put a blanket, put me in a box and say I hate a certain amount of fighters? I mean, it was the same thing a couple of years ago. I remember it was the same thing a couple of years ago. I wasn't the biggest fan of Andre Ward's fighting style because I thought he boxed outside the rules a lot, and I expressed that a lot in my videos. So I remember it was people that back in those days, back in like 2016, 2017, people would say, "Oh, you don't like black fighters." But if I sat here and I named you my top 10 favorite fighters, the lion's share of them would be black American fighters. So I don't understand. Boo Andre, I mean, Jesus, I've gone on a one-man crusade to get Boo Andre this Canelo fight. Marlon Starlin. I mean, another one. Riddick Bowe. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. Crawford.
You even got kicked out of the arena with that.
I got kicked.
For shouting Eddie Hearn.
Yeah, I mean, we yelled at Eddie Hearn from our seats to make the Boo Andre Canelo fight happen. And Eddie Hearn said wrong way. He wasn't trying to hear that. And he lucky. Listen, Eddie Hearn lucky that Pops didn't run into him in person because I'm telling you, Pops is different.
Eddie Hearn don't like British fighters.
Eddie Hearn don't like British fighters. Eddie Hearn don't like the British fighters no more because he's selling them all to Canelo to get whooped. I mean, come on, man. But yeah, man. Anyway, we appreciate all the love, all the hate, all the support here on True School Sports. God bless everybody. Shout out to Scotland, the whole of Scotland, and you know California and Mexico as well. You know, I'm happy this fight happened. I'm happy that Taylor and Ramirez both put it on the line because they both helped push the sport of boxing forward. And I wish Ramirez like the best for his career. The absolute best for his career, because he's not a fighter that deserves any sort of disrespect. He's not a fighter that deserves for me to shit on him or say anything bad. You know, he went in there, he put it on the line. He came up short against the better fighter. There's no shame in that. He'll be back. You know, he'll still be in the mix. He'll still be involved in important fights, and hopefully, for his sake, I think for Ramirez, he's gonna have to make some tweaks to his style because I really feel like he takes too much punishment. And you know, a couple more fights like the Taylor fight and the Zapata fight, and I don't know. I feel like he won't have a long career, to be honest with you. What do you think?
Man, just another observation.
What?
Yesterday when we were at the fight, there was some people from Scotland, like with the flags and everything.
Yeah.
But man, you know, after we met Taylor, like he was very respectful, man, and so were the fans. Like they were being loud, but then you know after the fight, like instead of like talking shit because we were going for Ramirez, like no, like they shook our hands and you know we had a good conversation.
Mm-hmm.
Like they were respectful, man. Like they're respectful people. Like when Canelo fought Joe Saunders. Bro, I mean, I don't think there was any Saunders fans. But
there were like 10. I was there. There were like 10.
There were a lot of fights that broke out. Like I saw it on the news.
Yeah.
Those fights that broke out there, like Canelo fans were fighting Canelo fans. I guess. I don't know. I mean, that's crazy.
That is crazy. And even like recently at the Andy Ruiz Chris Arreola fight, there was a ton of fights in the stands.
Fighting Mexicans.
Mexicans fighting Mexicans, man. So maybe
Maybe they don't like maybe we don't like each other.
yeah, maybe who knows, man? Who knows? But look, God bless everyone. God bless the boxing fans all over the world. We love all the fighters. Shout out to Josh Taylor. He's done Scotland proud. He's done. I think, you know, my opinion. I think right now he's put in a big bid to be. I know his career's still going on. He's got a lot to go, but he's put in a big claim as potentially the greatest fighter their country's ever seen since the great Ken Buchanan. And Ken Buchanan was a damn great fighter. Maybe he's not there yet, but he's definitely, you know, closing that gap between him and Ken Buchanan. So shout out to him. Shout out to the whole Scotland and UK and just everybody around the world. Just love to everybody. We're going to keep going here on True School Sports. Next weekend is Devin Haney versus Linares. I don't know what I'm doing yet for the fight, but once we figure it out, we'll let you know. And on that note, guys, you just take the time to like the video, share, and like I say in every single one of these videos, you can love me or you can hate me, but I'm just kidding from Daniel. So until next time, take care, guys.